I'm Chase Myers. I'm number 11. I play a little bit of quarterback, cornerback, and receiver. And a fun fact about myself is in the 3rd grade, I was actually afraid to play football, so I told my coach I had frostbite.
I think it means a lot to every single player on this team. A lot of people only see Avon as like a big football community, but if you really watch us, you know how we act in the community, how we hold ourselves as people. We're more than just football players. We really carry pride with us, and that's like what the coaches teach us.
All the things that you guys do, getting up at 5 a.m. to lift, 2-a-days, 30 dozens, how much has that changed you as a person?
It's changed us greatly. Like, you have to realize the world doesn't wait for you. You have to get up and go do whatever you need to do every day. Like, no one's gonna wait for you. You have to go chase your goals and your dreams. And I think that's what it's kind of teaching us. Like, you gotta be, the motivation doesn't just come, like, you have to teach yourself to get up and all that.
You have an interesting dynamic. You had an older brother who played in the program. How much of an advantage do you think that gives you over somebody who didn't?
Maybe not more towards like the sport, but more just as like a person. Like, you can't be just skipping out on practice. Like, there's more to it than just football. Like, it teaches you the way of life.
How excited are you for your senior season?
I'm really excited. It's going to be a big season. We've got a lot going for us, and like every other season, I feel like we're kind of underrated again, but I think we're going to come together and really show out this year.
How is that? Every year, Avon wins out. They go to the Final Four, and the next year people are like, oh, this is their down year. This is their down year. And yet you guys always overcome it. Does that motivate you guys?
Every year I think it motivates us, and it's every year we build depth in the depth chart, and yeah, we lose all these great players, but every year we're coaching up people who know how to play the game right, know like what they're supposed to do, and I think we know what we're supposed to be doing out here.
At the end of the season, if I said you had a successful year, what would it take and what would be accomplished for you to think that?
I think we kind of just need to keep things rolling, make another semifinal appearance for it to be successful, but I think our whole team realizes we have bigger goals in mind than just a semifinal run.
You play other varsity sports too. How much does that just mold you into the athlete and person that you are?
I think every sport teaches you a different lesson in its own way, and I feel like high school sports teach you a lot more than just about the sport itself, and each sport and each coach has their different way of teaching that. Every year, every season, I'm learning something new that's helping me out, whether it's from one sport helping out with another, the other way around.
Who's your favorite coach?
I love all the coaches.
If you were a superhero, who would you be?
The Flash.
Why?
Can do everything. He's fast, yeah.
Your flavor of ice cream, what would you be?
Chocolate.
Oh, that's no.
I love chocolate.
Is there a reason?
All right, if you were a pizza, what toppings would be on you?
I don't eat pizza.
Maybe it's for someone else to eat, you know?
You got cheese. It's straight
Cheeseophobia.
Turophobia, actually. I don't know. Sausage.
Big one.
Pineapple.
I like the way you're going with it.
Wow. Chase is a young man who obviously is not blessed with tremendous size, but he's maybe one of the most athletic kids around. You watch him as a baseball player, he plays third base at the size he is. So he's on the hot corner, he pitches, and he's a really good pitcher and a tremendous athlete. As a senior, he battled for our quarterback job, the job that Sam DiTilio won. He's a kid that I believe wholeheartedly, if we needed him to play quarterback, could win games for us because he's just a competitor and an athlete, very shifty. But we've then moved him, and this speaks volumes to his athleticism, from quarterback to slot receiver, and he didn't blink. He stepped out there and immediately became a guy that became dynamic with the ball in his hands. And then on the defense side of the ball, he's one of our best cover guys. So couldn't be more proud of Chase Myers. You think about his journey. He was thrust into some games as a quarterback as a sophomore. He had to come into our late game. He played against Massillon, as a 135-pound quarterback. And the courage he has as a football player and as an athlete is second to none, because the game was never too bright for him. The lights were never too bright or the moments too big. He's just a competitor and did a great job for us.
Even the Benny game, he played the third and fourth quarter that when Nico got hurt.
He did, you're right. In that journey that led to the Final Four, he came in that game and then played in the next few. I'm really excited for him as a senior. You know, he's finally has a starting role in our football program. It's funny, we tried to move him from quarterback a few times to receiver throughout his career. And every time we went to do it, something would happen and we'd have to bring him back into the quarterback world. But to me, that's a compliment to him, that he's versatile and can do a lot of things for our team.
And just what about his character? Most kids would be like, no, coach, I'm a quarterback. You know, and he just accepted it and went with it.
He wants to be a star in his role. I mean, the other part of it is if he chose to play soccer, he would probably be one of the best soccer players in Avon. He's really talented at soccer. And he's our backup kicker to Vaco. So he is certainly a jack of all trades and a master of some, is what I would say. I don't know that he's mastered the kicking world yet, but he's certainly a viable backup for us. He's a viable backup at quarterback, and he is a starting corner and a starting wide receiver for us.
Is he almost like Swiss Army knife of this year?
I like that. That's a good analogy. I would say Chase Myers is definitely a Swiss Army knife. Not sure we'll put him at center for Michael Dertuzos or at guard for Abe, or I'm not sure he'll go in for Luke Hamilton at tackle. But outside of the offensive line, I think he could play anywhere.
The first two words when I think of Chase is smart. I mean, I've had him in class. I've had him on the field here now for 2 years, and like he'll come off the sideline and you see him talking to me and be like, we had a smash or a curl from one or a switch. Like he knows what's going on. He wants to know the reasons why behind it, what we're going to do about it. And the kid's a competitor. He works his butt off all summer. He'll come to Dirty Dozen and then he'll be like, okay, I got to leave at 9 to go to a baseball tournament in Columbus, and then he's right back, to be at the next Dirty Dozen. So the kid's always moving and he's always competing.
How about just his athletic ability? He hasn't been blessed as a big body.
No.
You wouldn't know that by the way he plays.
He plays bigger than he is. I mean, I think he's gone from 101 pounds as a freshman to in the 140s and 150s now, but he throws himself around. He is fearless. He gets into people that are a lot bigger than him, and he just goes after it.
What about his versatility? He's been a quarterback all these years, and now he's switched to receiver, and now he's playing more corner and everything else.
I think that speaks a lot to just how selfless he is, and how he's bought into what we want here in Avon. Quarterback as a sophomore leads us to that, into the regional finals. This year's in the mix. We got a couple good quarterbacks. I think we can help the team. He goes to slot, no problem. He plays corner the whole time. He does whatever we ask, and that's all I think you can want from a teammate.